Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Did you know that e-bikes have speed limiters on them? And the reason why is because if they put a limit on it, you don't have to have a special license, which means they can appeal to a broader audience. So you have to ask yourself, how is it that you can bypass that speed limiter? It's actually a lot easier than you might think. We'll talk about it a little bit in today's video. Stay tuned. All right, so how do you figure out what your speed limiter is on your e-bike? Well, there are three classes of e-bikes. There's class 1, class 2, and class 3. Class 1 would be the slowest, around 18 to 20 miles per hour. Class 3, you could get up to 28 miles per hour. Now, that will be a limiter. That doesn't mean that your bike won't go faster. Most class 3 e-bikes they have to have special certification to get class 3, and they're going to have a more powerful motor, so you could actually go much faster. And there are a couple different methods to do that. There's called the magnet trick. There's actually a magnet on your rear wheel, and what happens is when you pedal, it goes around and hits a sensor, and if you move that over to your pedal, for example, as you pedal at a slower rate than your wheel would turn compared to your frame, it tricks your bike and lets you go faster. It's a lot to it. It's not that hard to do, but guys, there's actually a much easier way, and that's with just the panel. You can actually simply change your tire size on your panel. So this bike right here, I have 20-inch fat tires on it, but if I changed it in the panel to a 29-inch tire, thinks it's bigger. So instead of going around at a certain speed that it's expecting, it's taking longer to get around. And as it gets around slower, it tricks your panel. So now what is the downfall to, say, changing it on your panel or moving the magnet? No matter which method you do, well, the downside is your speedometer on your device will be off. So if you do something like that, and I never say you should or shouldn't do it, but if you are going to do a speed limiter to deregulate it or to override it, I suggest getting a cell phone mount with a speed checker. One I use is CycleComp. It's actually a really good, it's like a cycle computer app. It's completely free, and I mount it on all of my e-bikes that I ride. It tells me my speed I'm going. So for example, when I unlock this bike and I go out on the road, it'll still say I'm only going 25 miles an hour, but my CycleComp will say that I'm going 42 miles an hour, just by changing the tire size to the biggest tire size available. Most panels you can get up to 29.5, but I've actually seen panels that I could get up to a size 32 tire, which is kind of crazy. And if you think about it, as it rotates around a bigger space, it has to go much faster. So it's going to trick your system altogether. You're going to go much faster than your panel actually says. So that's the downside to that, is your panel will no longer be accurate with your speed. You're going much faster than it says you're going. The other downfall to something like that is, and you really have to take this into consideration on how high of a quality bike you got, because if you have a lower quality bike, and I've reviewed some that were under $500 on this channel, those bikes, they're just not meant to go that fast. It's too much pressure on the motor, too much pressure on your battery, too much pressure on your everything, your spokes, your pedals, your seat, literally everything on that bike is cheaper made versus a bike like this. It's around $1,200, or one of my $2,000 e-bikes. Now those ones you would want to consider maybe overriding the limiter. So this one right here is a Highboy EX6. It's a new model by them. This guy can get up to 42 miles an hour when you unlock it in the panel. Really easy to do. They're very affordable. I will have a full review on this e-bike. I also have already on my channel how to set up your panel so that you can change that tire size so that you can go much faster than it actually says you're going. So get that app, guys. It's completely free. CycleComp, check that app out and make sure that you're using this on a bike that's a little bit better quality. Those $500-600 e-bikes, I definitely wouldn't do it. It's just not made for that. And if you are giving your e-bike to your kids, most of them are regulated where they say you have to be 16 or 18 years old. So if you're giving it to somebody younger than that, I would not deregulate it, guys, because it can be very dangerous when they start cranking that and going 40-50 miles an hour down the road. Very dangerous for kids. So if your kids are using your e-bike, do not deregulate it, guys. They do it for your safety. That's why they have the speed regulator on there. You don't have to get a special license to operate it, and you're less apt to get hurt going 15 to 20 miles an hour versus 42 miles an hour on the road. So anyways, that's kind of how it works. There are three classes of e-bikes. two ways to bypass the speed limiter. I shared both of them with you in this video, and if you want to see a specific video on the magnet, I have it on my channel, or a specific video on the panel, I also have that on my channel. I suggest going with the panel method first. If you can't change the tire size for whatever reason with your e-bike, then you can look at the magnet. Hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you do subscribe to our channel if you like content just like this. Thanks again, everybody. Bye.